appreciate everybody getting on the call. I am sitting in the area meeting in sunny Sioux City, Iowa. It's gorgeous up here. The sun's always shining on these folks. Always happy up here. So anyway, let's get going here, and so we'll skip right to some things that happened with a few of us that have probably been involved in this flooding and everything is in Nebraska and Northeast and going down the Missouri River and Kansas and causing all kinds of issues. But I tell you what, I just want to appreciate a lot of folks helping out each other, in our company and helping stores stay open by transferring product and getting product from one store to the next. Just a story here, since I'm sitting in Sioux City, I talked to Jeremy on that. I don't know what day that was. I can't remember what day it was. And we had Wayne that was really running out low on product, and I called Jeremy in Singing Hills, and he rounded up a bunch of product for us, and he got it down there to Wayne to continue to the store to keep open. So and I know there's a lot of other things that happen, and you guys pitching in and doing this, outside of McLean throwing a wrench and everything, and that making it a little bit difficult and challenging, but working through those pieces. But again, it was just, Dave and Chris running around product at night, getting to the stores. Those are things that keep everybody going, and it's neat to see that without even hesitation of helping each other out. So a lot of flooding, still a lot of roads out there that are blocked. You can't get through. And there was actually, I think, a couple deaths that I know of around the area that happened. And so it's not always a good thing, but it was good to see everybody come together. So appreciate everybody's help and efforts in doing this. I want to get to talk to you about a little bit about the Hut 100, and it's a I guess a competitive. Well, what it is the Hut 100 is a competition to bring together the top 100 RGMs to the spring meeting to celebrate and recognize their success in leading the way at being hot, fast, and reliable. So the spring meeting this year, next year will be, I think, in Phoenix. So, okay, well, Hut 100, how do we get to the hot top, to be one of those 100 managers in the nation? And it really breaks down to 3 categories. And I'm going to go through this fairly quick, but I think everybody got this in their package with some of their specs, and your area coach has the information. You can get it on HutLink. But I think this is a kind of a neat deal to do. So there's 3 categories, which breaks down to high volume for delivery, low delivery, and then stores that have less than 350 deliveries all in a period. So which includes then your red roofs. So built around the hot, fast, and reliable, because that's what we're trying to drive here. So to qualify, these are just some of the qualifications. You have to be open, or disqualifications, I guess I would say. Less than 9 periods, the store would have to be open more than 9 periods. Under 30 out the door, less than 75. You have to be better than bottom 2 box of 6% or less. Can't have a food safety failure, and can't fail on the HQS&C. So some of the basic things that would knock you out of this, although the 75 at the door under 30 minutes, that can be changed throughout the year, so you can get better at that. And so it's the same as the bottom 2 boxes, where you end up at the end of the year on those. But the other 3 would be disqualified because of that. So, and whoops, that went. So just to kind of give you a little bit of what we have 3 stores actually in the top 100 so far for this year. Chris out in Ainsworth was ranked 75. Rachel from Gothenburg was at 80. And then Peter from Shadron was ranked at 100 right on the dot. So if you want the information where you're at, we'll try to get that out to you. It's on the Hut link, but your area coach can get these numbers as well. You can watch it and see where you're at and what you need to improve on to do this. So I think it's kind of a really neat deal. You get a chance to go on the spring conference, which is this next year, a year from now, will be in Phoenix, Arizona. So something to look at and help get your team engaged and drive that. Okay, Easter Sunday. It's coming up here, the 21st. All stores are open at 4 o'clock, and then you close at the normal time. So, you can look at sales. I guess you got to match up. You can't match up the same Sunday because the Sundays aren't going to match up. So you have to look at what you actually ran last year, what day Easter was on, and then see what you actually ran. And so you can do some some good projections, so managing your customers and your labor. So just to let you know, there it is, 4 o'clock Easter Sunday. Food safety, we are at 100% complete. So nice job to everybody. This was it's a yearly thing, and I think we started on it a little bit earlier this year, so that was a good job by everybody in getting done with it. We've had just there were just a handful, 5 to 10 folks in that last week that they couldn't get off the learning zone or were terminated or whatnot, and we had issues with that. So that's why the 21st was our goal to get done, and we were pretty close to that on the 21st. Just had a few that didn't get to that. But at the end of the day, on the 28th or 29th, we were 100% completed. So nice job, and keep it going. I mean, the folks that are coming in that you're hiring and such, make sure you get those done right away. Full recognition on the food safety for period 3. We had 3 managers make it onto this list with only 3 deviations. And so added to Corey there from Fremont was Rhonda from St. Paul, Becky from Wahoo, and Deb from Nebraska City. So nice job to all 3 of you. And just I guess this is something that's going to be coming up, and I know this is in a lot of freezers, but we failed. There was a fail on this on one of our stores, and that was it says condensation on the ceiling that was in the freezer, and so then it's dripping on product that's in the freezer and covering the case. In this case, it was covering a case of the pre-portioned boneless wings in the walk-in freezer. So if your freezer is leaking or it's not draining properly when it's on a defrost, you might want to get somebody to look at that and get that taken care of. It doesn't change from winter to summer. It's the same issue, and it's not a seasonal thing. So just a bit of a heads up, making sure that is done, because that's cross-contamination, which is going to be an auto fail. So get with your area coach. If you're having issues like that, please get those things taken care of right away. Another deadline we got to try and hit here is the ServSafe, and I know this is involving quite a few of your management people. Traditionally it was just the RGM needed to be certified, but everybody that becomes shift manager on up is going to have to be through the course and pass the course. So all management team members are to be completed on this. It's due again July 1st, which seems like, well, that's a long ways away, 91 days away as of today. So after the July 1st, then it becomes a significant. If you think through the process of doing this, somebody's got to do the course. It takes a little bit of training. And then that's time. And if you have four people to do this with, that'd be great, 4 or 5, right? That you're going to have to look out 4, 5, 6 weeks. So that eats up a lot of that time. And I know how things go in the store. Somebody can't make it. This happens, that happens. The computer don't work. So this is kind of like a recertification of getting on top of it right away and getting it completed. So just a reminder, we'll try to keep reminding you. I know that everything, goes on during the day, and we want this taken care of. So keep working on it. And the folks that already got some of their folks done, that's a good deal. I'm staying on top of it. All right, HQS&C excelling. Wait for the screen to change here. Period 3, we had quite a few here. So we had Carney from 2nd Street in Grand Island at 99%, Tammy from Broken Bow at 96%, Jeremy from Singing Hills at 95%, Rhonda from St. Paul at 95% as well, and Vicky and Lamar's had a 93%, with Becky from Wahoo at 93%. So let's give them all a round of applause. Nice job. A couple things as a reminder on the HQS&C, the speed, the two that are going to be the ones they really look at, and we got to continue to drive, is the make time under 4 minutes and the driver turn under 1 minute. So be tracking that. You get the report sent to you every day from BMS. Be tracking that on your speed charts, talking to your folks, and making sure they're understanding what the purpose of this is and why it's so important that the make time is under 4 minutes. Really saves a lot of time. We got about half of our stores over that 5-6 minute mark. So we got 30 plus stores that are trying to get and having it challenging to get to that 4 minutes. But I'm going to tell you, you knock off 2 minutes on the make table is going to be huge on the end of the day. So pizzas coming out are going to be quicker. Getting it out to the customer is going to be quicker. It's a huge, that's what makes your speed, is being ready for customer and having things ready to go and prepped up. Just a little list here of some of the things that have been taken off. Now, we had a ton of these inspections, but cleanliness, the doors, and I'm talking front of the house typically on this, on an HQS&C, the cleanliness in the back of the house is going to fall to your food safety. So cleanliness in front of the house, doors, window, walls, floors, ceiling, all those detail things that have that contact with the customer is important to have. Speed, percent of rack time, that's one we get taken off for, and that again, it's back to being honest with ourselves and make sure that we are bumping at the right time. And some of our team members maybe think that bumping off early helps our numbers, and that gets us out of trouble. Thing is if you're bumping off early and you find out that you're doing it, you got team members doing it, look at your bottom 2 box, because if your bottom 2 box isn't lining up with that, and the numbers are great and they're awesome, and you're having a lot, looks like you're having a lot of success, look at what the customers are telling you. Most likely you may have some issues with speed. The customer is the one that's going to give you the credit for it. So please make sure that you got your folks managing them and that they are bumping off at the right time. Pizzas are made in the oven and then bumped off. Pizza's on the cut table, the order is cut, packaged, then bumped off. The order that goes out the door for a delivery, it's obviously it goes into the pouch right away, but making sure you got all the side items and it's ready to go, and then is dispatched out as the driver is leaving the store. So just some simple things to do. You do it right, and that way you can figure out if you need to hire more people or more drivers, or where you need to stagger them at and put them on the schedule, this sort of thing. So, and plus, if you do, if you're bumping off earlier, it will mess up the times for telling the customer on online ordering that it's not really the right correct time for pizza being ready, or order being ready. So the last one, I guess, is going to be the product quality. Dough is fresh and meets quality standards. So that's coming down to that 2-day dough. and making sure we're not stretching that dough to a full 2 days. I'm going to tell you, pan dough specifically lasts only maybe, you might get through that third revenue, but I would be planning your pan dough for that 1 day, and you can have a little extra for the next morning for your buffet. But you want to watch that. Dough does not seem to withstand. I know it's 2-day dough, but it doesn't really hold up, and so then we're serving a product. So let's just be better than what the standard is and get our customers a better product. And then there's also, you can score some points, additional points on the at the door times, which I know I have there's a couple HQSSCs and food safeties that were past period 3 that I don't have noted on here. So just, I know a couple of you guys scored pretty nice on your last one, so that will fall under the period 4, and to point out to some folks how well you did. So I didn't forget about you. It just didn't happen in period 3. So if you remember back in the conference, there was three or four things that we really tried to talk about, and that was growth mindset. And a lot of that was building the sales in your store and owning your market, being engaged in all the things that got talked about, how to do this, and getting out into your community and being part of that. You don't have to be a part of the community in every aspect in the community. Maybe it's one thing you start with and just kind of get yourself wrapped around that. Then you start owning your market. Grow the sales, 2 more tickets per day. Is it that day in the morning when we didn't get the phone answered, or we missed that business that wanted to order $100 worth of product in the morning, and we maybe missed that, or that late call or dine-in that came in right at close and we turned them down or turned them off because we were closing. Those are opportunities that are going to make your labor work a whole lot better, and food costs. So, back to owning your market, it's being part of that community and doing that. And so reach out to your area coach. There's tons of things. There's other managers that are doing these things, getting involved with the chamber. Maybe it's a school, maybe it's where your kids go to school, and getting connection with folks and teachers and such like there. So just a reminder that we're going to keep working on this. Growth mindset is not going to go away. And so it's going to become part of what you do. Best of period 3 for stores with volume under 11.5. We have at number 1 spot for sales growth, Brittany from South Belt at 45.8. Corey from Fremont at the second spot at 28.7. And Phaedra from McPherson 2 at 24.9. So there's some good sales growth. The 5% there represents stores above 11.5. That's what those stores would have came out to be is 5%. So that is not an average. That is what they actually would have ran. So comparing yourself to the rest of the group, those are some pretty good numbers. Food costs, we got Brandy from Locust and Grand Island at 22.5. Brittany again from South Belt coming in at 25.1, and Cheyenne from King Hill at 25.3. Again, compared to the 27.7 that you have there in food costs. So right there's 3 folks. If you got somebody you want to talk to about how do I get down to 26, 25, just lower my food cost by 1 point, there's folks right there. Give them a call. I'm sure they'll be happy to tell you what they're doing and what they've made differences in making that happen. Crew labor. We got Phaedra at number 1 spot at McPherson 2 at 16.3. Marcia from McPherson 1, of course, 17.2. And Ann from Concordia at 17.8. And again, compared to the 22.8 as stores that are listed above 11.5, that's some awesome labor you got going on there. Again, there's some folks that you can look at and go, hey, how are I getting this labor to that point? So nice job. Net sales per crew labor hour We got Corey and Fremont at number 1 spot at $49.31. Phaedra from McPherson 2 at second spot at $49.08. And Brandy again from Locust at number 3 spot at $47.13. Compared to the $37.86, that is quite an improvement, and that's being productive there, man. I'm going to tell you, I think we're always hiring folks day in and day out, and when we hire them, we train them, right? We train them on cooking, we train them on service, we train them delivery. But one thing we should make sure that we're starting from day one with our folks is train them on being productive. And sometimes we think our folks just need to learn how to make pizza, and when there's not an order up, they need to be understanding what they need to be doing and directing that traffic. So they understand that when there's not a pizza going to come out for 4 minutes, they don't stand at the cut table and wait for that pizza to come out. There's dishes to do. There's something to clean. There's this to get boxes. There's a tons of stuff. I think most stores have that chart up by the cut table, make table of things to do when there's downtime. So the sooner you teach that, the easier it's going to be to try and continue to hit your labor. But nice job to everybody on this board. Operations in the convention, you remember hearing about hot, fast, and reliable and the speed. It's about educating your team members on measurements and what they mean to the customer. And that's probably the biggest thing, is the team members understanding what that is. And if you're not getting something up on a speed chart, there's no communication, you're not going to reach the goals that you need to get to, and you're not going to take care of the customer as well. If you're back there and chattering about it and communicating it verbally and in some kind of written form, it's going to hit home. So that's, we're going to keep writing that. That's never going to go away. Customers is what they want. They want it hot, they want it fast, and they want to be reliable. Blasta, talked about that convention. To me, Blasta, when we got customer concerns, you always say, well, don't take it personal, don't take it personal. Well, that's true, maybe to the team member, but us as leaders in our stores, I think you need to probably take that personal, because when we make a mistake, that means I failed, and not that the customer is wrong or right, or that's not the decision. The decision, the thought process is that I have to correct this because I don't want this to happen to a customer again. And yes, that is personal. That's your store. You represent that store as the leader. And so, yeah, I would take it personal. Hospitality, quality, speed of service, cleanliness, HQS&C, all those things tie in together to make the great experience that we want to give to our customers. And breaking it down piece by piece, it seems like a lot of things, but you know what? All these things on this board that I got up on this slide stems from making sure our shift managers are helping us and are trained to get these things accomplished. So better that they know all this stuff, and better for you, gives you a better way of quality of life. So speaking of people and training, it all starts again with our training our shift managers and making sure that they are well trained. What happens when we train our shift managers? Well, shift managers help to train our team members, right? And then our team members are the people that are really taking care of our customers. So it's kind of a chain reaction. If we don't get our shift managers trained, it's a domino effect, and pretty soon our customers are calling and getting that blast, and we need to do blasting when we got 800 concerns, and then we start driving our business in the wrong direction. So if we don't start with ourselves and get our shift managers trained, it'll fall right there. So I've seen people jumping on and scheduling and getting their the lead on scheduled and training getting completed and dates for workshops. And this is all great stuff, because we're going to just do nothing but benefit from it. So I'm not telling you it's going to be easy, but I am telling you it's going to be worth it. And that's one thing we have to look at and look past of what it's going to take in our investment to do it, because it's going to be worth it, totally worth it. You heard me talk about our shadow at the convention. I just wanted to bring that up again, and what we make as an impact in our stores with our team members and our customers. You know, there's a positive. You know, talk about positive shadow, negative shadow, and that mentioned about being that productive. How productive are you when you're in the store, and what are you doing? Those are the things that make and break the labor piece specifically. But you know, how positive are you when you're in the store and being that shadow that's going to take your team members to a different level? You know, is it okay that we take care of the customer and do the basic things, but are we going above and beyond as ourselves in our stores where, you know, that's a great training tool. If we're showing it, then our team will lead, they'll follow that lead. And so it's very important that we do these things day in and day out. And is it hard to be positive? Absolutely. Sometimes there are a lot of days that it gets tough. But it's very easy to be negative. And if you walk in with your head down and you had a bad day and your dog ran away and crops are still in the field and all that jazz, it gets to be a little negative, but you got to chin up. And that's what makes the rest of the team work. You know, you just got to be positive, and the team will follow you. So even if you're having a bad day, and again, being productive at the same time, being on the floor when business is 11 to 2, 5 to 8, being in the kitchen, being on the floor, doing all the things that you want your team members to do, you got to do them. So the shadow is very important in the whole process. Okay, best of period 3. Volume under 11,500. We got sales growth here from Peter and Shatter at number 1 at 19.8%. Angela from Cozad at number 2 at 14.3%. And Evan from Auburn at 10.7%. So nice job, Peter, Angela, and Evan on sales growth compared to the I guess if you want to call the stores at under 11.5, they were at a negative 1.7. So be nice if we're all at 10 or 19%. Food costs. Skylar from Princeton, number 1 spot at 25.80. Just wouldn't be a list here if we didn't have Skylar from Princeton on there. Becky from Heston at 26.6. Peter from Chadron again. Nice job, Peter, 27.5. Nice job to all three of you. And compared to the 30%, which is normal, or I shouldn't say normal, which is what would be 11.5 under that. That was the stores that ran. So again, folks, there's some people to look at and send them an email, man. You know, if you don't want to call them, how you doing it? So crew labor. We have Becky from Heston at 13.3%. Peter from Shadron, again, he's on the board at 17.4%. And Margie from Harrington at 18.8%. So nice job, Margie, Peter, and Becky. Again, compared to the 23.4 that's there, there's doing some things there, folks. What a resource to go after. I know a lot of these people are on here a lot of the times, every period. So they're doing something right. You want to learn something from somebody. You want to get your labor better. I'm sure there's 1 or 2 things they can tell you about. Net sales per crew labor hours. Look at there, Becky from Heston again at $50.38. Don't remember how many times we've ever hit $50. So nice job, Becky, and your team. Peter from Shatter at 44.70, and I bet Peter thought 44.70. Nobody's going to be above that, but that's amazing itself. Angela from Cozad at $41.79. So nice job to Angela, Peter, and Becky. The 11 stores under 11.5 came out to $35.84. So wow, there's some crazy things going on there. So nice job to everybody on the board making this work. Okay, Charlotte. Charlotte's on, right? Do you see her? Well, Charlotte, Charlotte doesn't have any slides, so I'm just.
Yeah, she's here, Jim. She's here.
Great. I didn't want to freak her out. And she goes, I didn't have no slides or anything to go over, but I was going to put some slides in here for you, Charlotte, but that'll be for a different time, okay? But so, as we know, Charlotte is going to be fading away from us here, and I guess that's her choice, but we have to live with that, right? But anyway, I just want to say to Charlotte, hey, appreciate everything you've done in the last years for us, and in bringing your experience to the board with everybody, and sharing things with everybody. It's been great that you've been with us, even from helping started building Norfolk Pizza Hut. I remember working with you there, and that was, what a great help that you were in just doing those things, and even some of those flights to Dallas, and the weather. I think every time I got on a plane with Charlotte, the weather was always bad and stormy, but in making our roundabout way back home and things, even today, just continuing to do what she's done in the past has been a great, and what an asset and impact that you made on our company. So I just want to say personally, thank you, Charlotte, for all that you have done. Okay, so what you all been waiting for, the scorecard, period 3. At number 4 spot, we have Becky from Wahoo at 4.04 points. Third spot was Deb from Nebraska City at 4.18. So it's pretty close. Erica from Savannah jumping up on there at the number 2 spot at 4.31. And the number 1 spot for period 3 is Phaedra from McPherson 2 at 4.53 points. So it is 10:02. I appreciate everybody getting on the call. Good luck the rest of the week, and talk to you later. Thank you.